Hey everybody, how's it going? I haven't done one of these videos in a while, Blu-ray pickup video, but I got four movies, not a lot, but I figured four was enough to do one of these. And I have some movies coming soon. I'll probably do another one of these within a week or two. I'm just gonna get some Christmas movies on 4K. Christmas Story, Elf, National Lampoon's Vacation. I think those were the three I was looking at. Be cool to check those out in 4K. But yeah, let me just show you this. This is what I got. And I got a new sound system. I got a Vizio Elevate sound system, which is an Atmos system. So I'll kind of talk about that throughout a little bit. I'm not much of a. I got what I thought would work for my space, basically. I would love to have like a crazy system, but I don't really have the room or like the setup for that, and I don't want my living room to turn into a theater, basically, as cool as that would be. I would want a dedicated space, and I don't really have that in my house. So, but yeah, anyways, the first one I picked up is a DVD, and it's Johnny Dangerously, which is from, I think, 85. Let me check. 84. And Michael Keaton and Joe Piscopo are in this, and Danny DeVito, it says on the cover, just as a little cameo. But this movie is really freaking funny. I found this. My friend showed me a clip from it or whatever, and was like, "You're gonna like this. Check this out." And I'm like, "Holy shit, this is funny." It's kind of like it's like a parody movie of gangster films, of mobster movies, and it's got that slapstick. It just feels almost like a Mel Brooks style movie, right? Goofy slapstick, really funny. I like gangster movies, so yeah, and it was great. I really liked it. As you can see, I haven't opened it. I watched it in a different way, but I still have the DVD, and that was kind of hard to find. I don't know if it's out of print or not. Like, I don't know if this was. I don't even remember if this was used and they just shrink wrapped it, but it might be out of print. It never came out on Blu-ray. The next we have, I'll just do the Blu-ray here. Big. Great film, right? I mean, love Big. Wanted to watch it on Thanksgiving for some reason. We just Tom Hanks kick lately, right? Sometimes I get in the mood. And yeah, Big is a great film. I actually haven't seen it in a while. But there's a director's cut on here that I watched. That's like 2.5 hours or something like that, right? Doesn't say actually. It was a pretty substantial. Yeah, it doesn't say. There's like 8 scenes missing or something like that they added back in. Anyways, though, I didn't really necessarily anything stuck out as new to me because I guess I haven't seen the movie in a while. But it was a great cut. It didn't drag or anything. So yeah, that's big. Next are two 4Ks. I guess I'll tell you the one I haven't seen yet, but the Green Mile on 4K. If specifically for the 4Ks, because that's the fun stuff. If any of you have seen them, let me know what you think of the transfer or whatever. But yeah, I love this movie. I've seen it many times. Oh, look at the 4K is a nice brown color. Normally they're black. That's cool. And here is a digital movie code. If anyone wants that, I don't do them really much anymore. So if you want it, go for it. Yeah, this movie's great. I love it. I read the book as well. I read the book, I think, before I saw the movie. The Stephen King novel, although it was a serialized novel, so it was in 6 parts, I think. I read it as one whole collection, but great story. I'm looking forward to seeing it on 4K. Does it have an Atmos track? Yes, it does. All right, that's gonna be good. And the last one I have to show you is Forrest Gump on 4K. Again, going through that Tom Hanks phase with an Atmos track. Now, this movie, for some reason, I heard bad things about the transfer. I could be wrong. I'm just going off of memory, but I heard, let's say, mixed things about the transfer. So I did go into this thinking, all right, I wonder what the potential issues could be. Although I wasn't exactly sure, right? And I didn't have too many issues with it, to be honest with you. And I'm normally pretty critical about stuff. I kind of notice these kind of little things. Maybe not as much as some people, because I'm not as big of a fanatic, right? But it was pretty good. The only thing I could say is that I do remember certain scenes, specifically like the stuff in Vietnam, just looked good. I remember thinking, I didn't even think anything about it, right? I just thought, this looks good. But I wasn't actively critiquing it. But there are certain scenes with, especially like the sequence when he goes running and they show all of the nature and everything, I was like, holy shit, this looks amazing. So there are scenes in this that are like absolutely freaking gorgeous. Like the shots of like all the trees in autumn, and then there's a mountain shot. There's a shot of him running by the desert, and it is really beautiful. And then some scenes at his house, in Alabama, the mansion and everything he lives in, beautiful looking stuff. So I think maybe it was just a little inconsistent, but I don't think anything looked bad. I thought skin tones were really good. The shadows were really good. It was just very good looking. HDR was wonderful. I think maybe, yeah, just for some reason, the Vietnam scenes didn't stick out to me as being particularly eye catching, which you feel like they would be. But everything else was like just a joy to watch. The Atmos track, man. This is where I'll get into my sound system. So again, like this isn't a bajillion-dollar sound system or anything, but I felt like this Vizio Elevate. If you don't know what it is, you can check it out right now if you want, just to see what it looks like. But it basically has on the side of the sound bar, it's got a sound bar with a couple channels in it, and then it's got two left and right satellite speakers and a very, very big subwoofer, like huge subwoofer. And it's got speakers on the left and right side of the soundbar that can rotate upwards, and it will fire them at the ceiling, which will then bounce the sound down at you. So it's not true Atmos, but it's not digital Atmos. Like my TV has digital Atmos, where it tries to recreate it, and it doesn't really work for me. I can kind of see what it's trying to do, but it doesn't work. So this might not be true Atmos if you want to get technical, because there aren't really, speakers on my ceiling pointing down. But it is doing something with the sound, and the speakers are pretty big. Actually, the two satellite speakers also have speakers on the top for Atmos as well. And it works. It was really cool, although it kind of showed me. Well, first off, watching this movie in Atmos showed me. I know this, but I haven't experienced it in such a long time, how important sound is for a movie. Now that I got this system, I'm like, oh yeah, I can really start to enjoy these movies a lot more than I could before, because movies are so dynamic in their sound, and the sound is almost like a character in some ways. So with this system I have in particular, the Atmos effects don't necessarily sound like they're coming like it doesn't always sound like shit's flying above your head, but it sounds like the sound is coming from somewhere above my television that I can't place because there aren't physical speakers up there. So it's this sort of auditory hallucination almost where I do like, let's say there's surround effects. The surround effects in this were great. Rain sounds, guns, really good mix. I thought that I could hear them. They sounded really cool, but I knew they were coming from my left and right, surround speakers. But when the Atmos effects happened, they would sound like they were coming from above my TV, like if I were to place a speaker a foot above my television. But I couldn't exactly place where they were coming from because they didn't sound like they were coming from the sound bar. If that makes sense, it's like a weird sort of, and it doesn't happen constantly. So when I was listening, I was like kind of disappointed. I'm like, oh, I want Atmos. And I realized, like, yo, you don't get that constantly because that wouldn't really make sense. And it would almost be overwhelming. So there were just moments where you'd hear the Atmos kick in and it kind of trips you up for a moment. You're like, where the hell did that come from? So it was really cool, actually. And there were some great uses of Atmos, especially in Vietnam when the bombs were dropping, when they were doing the airstrike. It sounded like they were falling from the ceiling for sure. So that was really neat. There were some rain sound effects that sounded like they were happening above the television. That was really cool, like thunderstorm. There's a thunderstorm in the movie where you just hear the sound from like all these different directions, and you kind of hear some stuff happening above you. Really cool. I really look forward to. I thought this transfer was great for them. I mean, it was like a B plus, really good. The sound was an A plus. It was really, really good sound. I was super impressed. And maybe that's just because it was my first like full movie I watched in Atmos, but it was really cool. I did watch Hook as well. I went and watched a little bit of that, and you know that I think that 4K, if you've watched some of my videos, that 4K transfer is very good if you're looking for a good one. Really good. But the Atmos track, again, it was like, first off, the soundtrack, The Flight to Neverland. Whoa, really cool. But yeah, Tinkerbell, you're hearing like Tinkerbell noises above your head. And I've never heard that before, so I don't know if that was like mixed like low in a normal mix, like a stereo mix, or I just didn't hear that ever. So that's like a cool thing. So, anyways, that's basically it. Those are the four movies I got recently. Talking about my new sound system, which has been a lot of fun. Definitely gonna watch more movies on that now. I'm still not done with frickin' My Heart Is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. I've been reading it for like a month. I'm getting close though. And I am liking it, so I'll do a review of that. And next, I'll probably read, I don't know. I have a couple books on hand I'm going to read. But yeah, let me know what you've been up to, what you've been reading, movies you've been watching. I do have a fragrance coming soon, Happy Land Signature Gold, which is a flanker of Happy Land Signature, whenever that comes. So yeah, that's what's up with me. Take care. Have a great day. Peace out.